Congratulations, Disney! You did it again! You made me mad enough to go ahead and write this whole video. Great job! Couldn't expect less from you! Yeah, consider this an unfortunate follow-up to my last video where, funny enough, I bring up Disney a few times. I'm never gonna escape politics. Because just recently, the Mouse House has caused a stir regarding how they're treating one of their animated shows on Disney Channel. That being Marvel's Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. The series, developed by Steve Loader and based on the Marvel comic of the same name, began airing last year and has been widely praised for all the right reasons. I'm not gonna introduce this like it's a review. I might do one later down the road when the show wraps up, but I'll still say that it's really something special. Not only is it a blast to watch with its lovable characters, beautiful animation, and amazing action, but it's also a huge step forward in diverse representation and storytelling. It's like if the Proud Family was a superhero show, to put it that way. On one hand, the show being a celebration of diversity is a good thing. It's fantastic actually. But on the other hand, this being a video about Disney handling diversity in its own products, I think you can tell where this is going. You see, there's an episode as part of season 2 named The Gatekeeper, which is about a volleyball game where the opposing team's coach, Greer, locks Linella's team out of the game using this magical key so she can try to disqualify them. But a significant aspect of the episode is its focus on a character named Brooklyn, who becomes head coach after their initial one is injured and is targeted by Greer because, and this is what's causing the controversy, she's transgender. It doesn't pull any punches and is actually very explicit about the moral it's trying to go for. And there's also a message about breaking the system if it's unfair, which, correct me if I'm wrong, that's an impressive first for a kids show. And yeah, it's a great episode, and it's a very welcome addition to the series. Or at least it would be. Yep, who would have guessed Disney has done a Disney and pulled the episode entirely. Wow, what a shock. If you know Disney's history, it's pretty obvious why they made this move. As explained by this tweet from Alex Hirsch. It ages better and better every day. While it isn't surprising Disney would do something like this, that doesn't make it any less infuriating. Firstly, this shows they have learned nothing from the whole Florida debacle. I'm not gonna go into too much detail, but in short, for those who don't know, back in 2022, Disney was pressured to speak out against Florida's Don't Say Gay bill and stand with their queer employees since they have a big presence in the state. They initially refused, but after a large company-wide walkout, plus employees exposing Disney's treatment towards LGBTQ stories and how they donated to the bill's political sponsors and writers. Say, did you know on the day of the walkouts, Disney barred their parks employees from wearing pride pins, aka ones they sold at their own parks? They finally condemned it, but only after it was put into law, alongside dropping said politicians and threatening legal action, which caused Florida Governor Ron DeSantis to have a hissy fit and dissolve Disney's self-governing Reedy Creek Improvement District. There are much more details to this, so if you want to learn more, I highly suggest watching Avalor's video on it than Legal Eagle's video for the whole government side of things. But what I'm trying to say is, you think after that whole fiasco, the House of Mouse would have learned to not pander to miserable jack-offs and let their artists have proper representation though. Ha ha ha, not a chance. Not only once again trying to reduce queer representation, but purposely sabotaging their own products with queer themes just to say, oh look, that movie flopped because gay people existed. It looks like audiences don't want that stuff, so make Riley less gay, please. And they've also resumed donations to the Florida GOP, and even Twitter, which has become a muskrat's right-wing echo chamber. This is a sad reality that is very common with major studios, and it's not just a Disney problem. As much as a bunch of right-wing grifters like to cry about it, Hollywood is not woke. Far from it. They can start as many initiatives and flex the amount of content they have that includes some semblance of proper representation, when in reality, they are so paranoid of losing sense from homophobic countries and soccer moms who think 1 second of two men kissing on screen is grooming that they'll throw all of those morals out for the sake of trying to appeal to everyone. We've seen this with Cartoon Network when they canned Steven Universe for the wedding episode, Paramount when they cut a homosexual kiss from Gladiator 2, Warner Brothers when they removed a trans character from The Matrix. And when studios do let it happen, they do absolutely nothing to prevent it from failing just so they can use wokeness as a scapegoat to never allow inclusivity in their products again. I've said this already, but I think it's seriously worth repeating, corporations are not your allies. They only care about what's morally right when it gives them a good image, and good images put cash in their pockets. It's not that you shouldn't praise when the show or movie gets its representation right when released under a major studio, but if said major studios are trying to sell it to you you as, hey, we accomplished this. You shouldn't fall for it because chances are, those creatives had to fight tooth and nail to get a gay couple or trans character in their work and still get punished for it anyway. I'm so glad we're past the age of thank you big corporation for showing that you actually care about us, unlike that other big corporation, because if I see another post like that, I think I might burst an aneurysm. Bringing it back to Moon Girl, secondly, and what angers me about this the most, is that the episode is completely done and there are no plans to release it. Disney did release some sort of statement saying the decision to pull the episode was made a year ago and not related to rumors of it being based on you-know-who winning this year's election, which actually makes them look worse when you think about it a bit more. And they also stated that the episode wasn't banned, but just held. Sure. Not gonna stop it from being leaked though. Also, I think you know they f***ed up when people are cheering that the episode leaked. I watched it for myself and yeah, like I said, it doesn't hold back on what it's trying to say, and with how explicit it is in its messaging, it could really stand as not just one of the most impactful episodes of a kid's TV show, but one of the most important episodes of a television show, period. Again, practices like these aren't new in the industry, and at least as far as I'm aware, this isn't getting written off. But the thought that a very powerful love letter to the trans community is possibly never gonna make it to the air is just upsetting. Not only that, but Moon Girl's future is also uncertain. There were reports that season 2 was gonna be its last, but Diamond White, who voices Lanella, cleared the air by saying that while the show wasn't cancelled per se, it hasn't been renewed either. And any chance of a third season happening all depends on the Disney Plus ratings. Of course it's Disney Plus, it's always Disney Plus. By the way, they dropped 90% of season 2 in one day. I'll let you make of that what you will. So, here we are. As you can imagine, the whole situation is very bleak. For people who hate everything Disney and are a fan of nothing they make, it's easy for them to just get mad about it for a few minutes then move on with their day like they didn't see anything. But it's much more painful when you're a fan of their stuff. Especially in this scenario where being a Moon Girl fan right now feels very tricky. It might be much to ask, but I implore all of you in any way you can to support the show and the people behind it. It really is unique and it'd be very tragic to see it go down the shitter. I don't want to worry too much about its future because Disney is allegedly proud of it, but the fact that this show even exists under them is honestly a miracle.
There she is, there's my girl Moon Girl.
Like I said before, I am a huge fan of Disney's movies, shows, and parks, and I've been a student of their history for as long as I can remember. I'd love to make videos where I put their works under the spotlight, but with how much like this they're doing, it's not gonna be seen for a long time. Something at the company has to change, and if any new CEO is gonna come into play, for the love of God, let it be anyone but this motherfucker. It's moments like this that prove if these next 4 years are gonna be rough for a lot of us, then it's no doubt gonna be scary for everyone under the LGBTQIA+ umbrella. Regardless of where you are in the world, it's gonna become harder to be a queer and or trans person, and the only thing I have against it are my words. Keep yourself safe, defend yourself in any way if you absolutely have to, and please don't do anything drastically harmful to yourself. Live, even if it's out of spite, because you're helping make the world a little better. You are loved, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise. We'll have to see how it all plays out for Moon Girl, but there's no way in hell management is gonna just easily throw the episode into the Disney vault. I promise you, they can't get away with this. Not this time. Until next time, I'm Miyachi. See you later, Tama friends. Oh, and not just Disney, but Adria as well. Like, why would you ban your daughter from being a superhero after you told her she was a great one and she literally saved your life? What the hell is wrong with you?